Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy 4th of July. So excited to celebrate America's independence. It is Independence Day. And when you hear the phrase Independence Day, give me a movie. Give me a movie, right? And yes, obviously it's Independence Day, but I'm talking about the speech. I'm talking about the speech as they're going to fight the alien ship with a ragtag bunch of crew. The president's going to hop in a plane, all this good stuff. Anyways, with all that being said, that was a good movie. With all that being said, the Detroit Lions today got good and bad news on the defensive side of the ball. One is a writer just randomly throwing shade at what is arguably our best or second best defensive lineman. Second best. He's the second best. And then the other one is praises that are being heaped on somebody in the secondary. So we got a little bit of good and a little bit of bad. I'm going to start off with the bad. And I'm going to make an argument on why the person is absolutely ridiculous. All right? That just silly and dumb, if I can be completely honest. All right, and here it is. Detroit Lions, $97 million player labeled the most overpaid player at the position in the NFL. This is very, very interesting, all right? It's very interesting. It is about Alim McNeill. And in this, what they talk about is how Alim McNeill is getting just a ridiculous amount of money, all right, to not be basically what they are saying he should be. They're saying he's getting top 5 defensive tackle money, and in order to be a top 5 defensive tackle at $25 million, you're expected to be a game wrecker. And just when he's showing some potential to be one, he tore up his knee. Look, I don't know who Gary Davenport is writing for Bleacher Report, but for starters, don't just go going at somebody because of an injury. All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw up the different contracts of guys that are in the Alim McNeill bucket. All right, I'm going to throw all the guys that are in the Alim McNeill bucket with how much money they are making. And I think it's the top 10 defensive tackles that are in that bucket. Honestly, you could go top 11 if you wanted to. All right, and I'm just going to give you some of the names here. All right, Chris Jones, duh. Chris Jones is elite. He is the top echelon of the class. Of course, hands down, no question, he is the best, and he's paid like it. He's getting 7 or 8 million. He's getting 7.5 million more a year than Alim McNeill, all right? The dude is paid like he is the best, and he is the best. Now, let's go talk about the other players. Christian Wilkins has a horrible injury that might actually cause him to miss this next year. Where's the shade on him? By the way, Christian Wilkins, I would make the argument, isn't more of a game record at this point in his career. Nnamdi Metabuke, not great. He had one good year, and even that didn't grade out good. He just got a lot of sacks. And then you have Alim McNeill. Quinnen Williams, absolute potential through the roof. I understand that. Derek Brown, I'd rather have Alim McNeill. Jeffrey Simmons, I'd rather have Alim McNeill. Deron Payne at the end of his contract here, well, not at the end, but he's in the middle of a 4-year, $90 million deal. Definitely would rather have Alim McNeill. Dexter Lawrence, would rather have Alim McNeill. Christian Barmore, not even close. Osa Odighizuwa, not even close. Look, here's the deal. When I look at the top 10 paid defensive tackles, I look at one guy on that list that I can confidently say I'd rather have, and that's Chris Jones. That's it. So to sit here and say that he makes too much money for his skill set, I don't know, like with the injury, yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say that the thought hadn't crossed my mind that, man, oh man, we gave him this big contract extension and then he gets hurt. Of course it crossed my mind, but he'll come back from it. I think the other part that you have to take into consideration, look at the age of all these players that are here. Other than Christian Barmore, he's the youngest player on this list. A lot of 25-year-olds, but he's one of only 2 24-year-olds. And the 3 guys ahead of him are 26, 28, and 29. There's a big difference there. He's signed through 2028. This idea that he's the most overpaid player at the position is ridiculous to me. It's Deron Payne. It's Daron Payne. Daron Payne's making like $2 million less a year than, not even $2 million less than Alim McNeill. He's not even remotely close to as effective. So no, I'm not buying into this. He's the most overpaid defensive tackle. Absolutely not. He's rightly paid. And if you decide you want to pay a defensive tackle, that's the kind of money it takes. And what you have to realize is that he is absolutely one of the best ones there. All right, now we are going to talk about DJ Reed and some of the things that are continuing to be good. This is interesting. This is a quote I must have just missed. All right, Dan Campbell was talking about him back in April and talking about the impact on and off the field. He's got coverability. He can play man-to-man. Let's start there. Lions head coach Dan Campbell said of Reed last April. He wants guys that can play man-to-man. That's just what he wants. But then he'll bite on the perimeter, right? He'll come up. He'll tackle. He'll squeeze the edges. And then when you see him in press man, he challenges. He's not giving you a free release. He'll mix it up. And then he'll challenge you at the catch point. Man, he's feisty. He is competitive. Now, the reason this is such a big endorsement is because of what it means on the opposite side of the field as well. If you have someone like DJ Reed that can come in and be a consistent number one corner, it allows your guy on the other side, Terrion Arnold, to become a breakout year two cornerback. I need to talk about this for a second. Terrion Arnold, in the first 5 weeks of the year, struggled with penalties, right? We all remember that. It seemed like he was, oh man, why can't I remember the corner's name back in the late 90s, early 2000s, just constantly, I think it was Westbrook. Yeah, it was Westbrook. Just constant pass interference penalties. And I was just like, oh no, did we get another Westbrook at corner? And the answer is no, because he cleaned that up. But then toward the back third of the year, as he started playing really good, and we're like, man, this secondary is really rounded into form. He's become a really good number two corner, all right, on the opposite side. Then all of a sudden, boom, Carlton Davis gets hurt. And there you go. And then he struggled sticking with the team's best receiver to the point where toward the end of the year, they started putting Amik Robertson on the best players. Remember how Amik shut down Jets, Justin Jefferson, in the last week of the season, but then got hurt early in the Commanders game, which completely messed with our whole defense and our whole secondary. He messed with it. So this allows Arnold to do one of two things. Either he can consistently follow and line up on the number two receiver for the defense, or depending on how we want to play the defense, I don't know what Shepard's going to do. Just because you knew what Aaron Glenn was going to do doesn't mean you know what Shep's going to do. I mean, he's his own guy. So he may say, DJ, you're on this side of the field. Terrion, you're on this side of the field. Learn to play that side of the field. Each of you can lock down that side. It will be extremely helpful for him. All right, but also looking at DJ Reed. Reed is going to set an unbelievable tone. He's going to set an unbelievable tone for Arnold. His work ethic is among the best on the roster. Already we're seeing that. He's going to show him how to take care of his body, know his assignments, pave the way for others. And it's just going to be the next man up approach. I'm really excited to see it. Can't wait. I think the secondary could be truly one of the best secondaries we've ever had, if not the best secondary we've ever had in Detroit. Now let's hope we can just get a little bit of a pass rush. All right, thanks for watching. Happy 4th. See you on the next one.